Steve Seipel and his Beatles tendencies heard me on the interview that Mark Johnson did with me last week. He did my whole life story, which was, of course, very short and boring. But anyway, I told him on the interview that the reason I started playing guitar was because I heard the Beatles play Roll Over Beethoven, particularly George. And I went, that's kind of what I want to do. So that's where it started. And believe it or not, this is the first time I ever actually played the song. I really liked it so much, and I was always afraid to do it because I thought, well, I'll never play it like George. And I was right. I never do play it like George, but it's okay. So it's 3 chords and a cloud of dust, and let's look at it. It's just D, G, and A. Okay, now you just play straight D, straight G, and D, and A if you want to. I'm gonna write a little letter, gonna mail it to my neighbor Jay. It's a rockin' little record, I want my jockey to play. Roll over Beethoven, I got it here again today. So you can play it that way if you want to. You can play it this way. I play my D. Well, there's a couple ways you can play it. Here's the D. You can play D with 2 fingers. You can play 2, 3, and just bar across like you do an F sharp, and then add your 3rd on B here. And then you can use your ring finger to do 2 and 4 on G to keep that rhythm beat going. So it's 2, 3, 2, and then you're going 2, 4 on G to get that rhythm. And you're playing the open D. So that's your D chord. On your G, you can play 3 on E, play 5 on A, and then really stretch and get that 7 on the A chord to get that beat. So it's 3, 5, 3, 7. And you're back to your D. Then your A, you can play this way. You can play open A and then alternate between 2 and 4 on D. And you go back to your D, G, back to your G. You can also play your D this way. You can play up here on A at 5 and D at 7, and alternate 7 and 9 on D if you want to do it that way. So that's your D. Your G would be here, 3 and 5, and then 7. And back to here would be 5 on A, 7 on D, and then 9 on D. And then your A, you could play either here, 5 and 7 on E and A. So there's all kind of ways you can do it. So any of those ways will work, and we'll take a bad look at a lead here in just a little bit. So we'll have George and the boys sing it for us, and we'll go with that. Okay. All right, here we go. Let's see. Yeah. All right. I have the seal in the background there, so I hope it doesn't interfere too much with what's going on. Wow. So kind of quick, huh? Well, that's kind of a fun one. You just play it any way you want to. Just D, G, and A. So that's kind of a fun one. Here's a quick look at the. Whoops, got the wrong thing going on. Here's a quick look at the lead. Just real fast. It's not exactly, I don't think, what George plays, but it's pretty close. It's down here. It's in. Get this out of here. There we go. Okay, it's in A or a D D major. So he plays good old Chuck stuff. So he plays. Now let's start that again. That's kind of the introduction, and then the lead is. Something like that. Just all in. Just anything you want to throw in there for a D major, it'll work out just right. Okay, that's Chuck and the Beatles, and thanks Steve for bringing back an old memory.